or are written in similar Tangut signs. Now the problem is that what we mostly study, like for example the language in which this is written or the seal of meaning established by the saints, and basically more importantly, the language which was introduced by the Janjunju, by the pearl in hand, yeah, the ones which we have seen before, with the four characters, with the four lines. It is the language which we can identify as the language of the Tangut's me. That's the self-appellation of Tangut's меня, me. Whereas this another language, the language in which the epic poetry is written, is probably not even Tangut. Although there are several features which allow us to determine what the minyak, what the Tangut language is, yeah, because it uses verb agreement, it uses prefixation, the verbs are prefixed, the SOV world order, and many other things. Now, what concerns the epic poetry, we really have problems even identifying the word order. And the thing is that the Tanguts really also looked at it in the same manner. What they say once is that the most famous of those epic pieces, yeah, is called the monthly pleasures. I guess it's pretty kind of famous. The problem is that those monthly pleasures are written also in two sections. One section is in epic language or in the Odic language, whereas the section below is the translation of that into standard Tangut, into the language of Minya. Yeah? So this allows suggesting that we are probably dealing even not with the two dialects of the Tangut language, but with really two different languages. Why would that be? There is also another theory of how all those things really evolved. Yeah. I have not only myself, but several scholars have an idea of how that should be understood, but the idea is very wild. So it really is based on the idea or the concept of how Tangut emperors understood themselves. There's nothing. And the other one is the so-called poems or songs. And altogether surviving are 25 of those. I have the list here. The translations of the titles which I have provided here for this one, they are also, I would say, not really hypothetical, but I would say provisional. Because I have not read all of those, and well, I intend to, but don't think I will ever be able to do this. But the problem is that how this all works. You see, this is the picture of the so-called songs. Now, that stuff which is mirrored over here, this is the printed version of the odes. Yeah. And the songs are written here. That's manuscript. Yeah? That's a good picture, right? High resolution, so that it actually can be read. Actually can be read. Now, if we turn it the other way around, yeah, that would be those odes and very nicely printed. And these were copied by somebody for probably, I would even say, unknown reason. Yeah, we don't really know why those things were put together and why in this order, and if those songs, yeah, were ever printed. Now, but what those songs reveal, and the one which we have mentioned before, the ceremonial ode for the sage, yeah, which was devoted to the inventor of the Tangut script, yeah, it is also in this ka, yeah, in the song genre, so it's kind of understandable, yeah. Although there are still problems with the Tangut poetry, but we can still understand those things, yeah. This is more or less. This is more or less what we got. The research into those things, there are still translations of that. Chinese scholars work on that, but I must say that there is still enormous amount of things which should be done before we arrive to at least more or less a close understanding, yeah, of what was going on. Now here it is. I have specifically put the picture of this ode to the sage master, to the inventor of the script. And actually says that in the land, here we can read it, in the land of Han, yeah, there are Han characters. Yeah, so this is the ode here, those big ones, yeah? But we read this, yeah? It's za, ri, chi, yeah? So, yeah, and another ode here too. So everyone can see the amount of difficulty which is here, but on the other hand, it's probably the funniest thing ever. Can keep one busy for a very long time. What do we find, yeah, from those odes? From those odes we actually, or from those songs, sorry, from the odes we find a lot, but I think that we can't really say that we understand what these odes are about. Although my professor Kichanov, he claimed that he understood that well. And of course I agree. But still needs to, yeah, there's still some adjustments are still required. Okay, but there are still some things which we more or less can know for sure. Now, for example, I once had this idea, yeah, that we might be talking about two faces, yeah, of the Tangut people, yeah. One would be the way they presented themselves to the outside world, whereas the other one would be how they understood themselves and discussed those things between themselves. I don't think that that's a particularly good idea, but well, now I don't think so. But it kind of gives us a paradigm in a way. Now, what can we say? For example, something which, well, many scholars or several scholars were concerned with is the Tangut idea of imperial power. There was this great deal of controversy involving Tangut emperors and their relationships with the Sung dynasty, and this all ongoing quarrel of how to call the Tangut emperor, yeah, for example, because the real problem was this, of course, the Uzu, yeah, because Ouyang Xiu, a famous Chinese official, he basically thought that Uzu, we cannot use it, yeah, because it's homonymous with Uzu. Yeah, because this basically the same, yeah. So it says, how can our Chinese, our son of heaven, address the Tangut, whatever, yeah, as his ancestor, yeah, as his grandfather? There was this great deal. Because this was agreed already, and then Ouyang Xiu says, no, wait a minute. Just read it. He said, Wuzu. Okay, but nonetheless, you see, here is this part here. There is a variety of words in Tangut language which involve emperor or somehow indicate the emperor. Well, we can try to arrange those in a sort of table. I would try to do this, but it's still very provisional, yeah, because Meiji, that's probably direct borrowing from the Chinese, yeah, because although that's a Tibetan cognate me, yeah, for the sky, yeah, that G is Chinese borrowing, yeah, so that Meiji is probably directly translating Tianzi, yeah, the son of heaven. Now this one too, although it uses another one, but these two characters there in fact related, yeah, this probably the same one. That in the same character basically. That's the Tangut structure of Tangut characters. I mean, we still discuss this. Now that's the Tangut word would be Uzu. Udzo is normally translated as the son of blue heaven. The son of blue heaven. And that's a phonetic transcription which probably represents Tangut Gedzi. Something like this. Gedzon, Gedzu, whatever. And several characters are available here for the Tangut. Now the problem is that all those characters, like this one, Yang, this one is, they are all, how to say that? Those are all cognates, or they're all derived from one particular root, yeah, which is blue. Good. So it's really the son of blue heaven. Now, but also the problem is that this son of blue heaven is probably doesn't mean the same as the son of heaven in Chinese, yeah, because this G, that's also a Chinese word, that's a Chinese law. Whereas this Ju, yeah, is translated the Chinese Lord, the Ju, but this character in turn, if I'm not mistaken, is homonymous with another Tangut verb which means to judge. Yeah? Probably the Tangut word for emperor translates that that's a person who has power to judge, which was endowed on him by the blue heaven. That's one part. Now the other, and finally, is specifically Buddhist concept of imperial power, because we always see those. That is, as we can say, as Fortianza, yeah, the Buddha son of heaven, or Bodhisattva king, yeah, all those things too here. And they all relate to the Tangut emperor. So in one of those Tangut odes, we can see that there is a kind of a translation into Chinese, the Tangut is on the above, yeah. So say the emperors in every other place, yeah, in every our place, that's Huandi, yeah, in every place, they're all similar. In our great state of white and high, that's the Tangut, yeah, is our king, is our Buddha, son of heaven, the same as other all kings? Says, well, no, because he is a victorious, powerful Bodhisattva king, yeah. So, again, this all needs further interpretation, but nonetheless, yeah, we still have an idea that, and this is revealed to us by the Tangut poetry, yeah, that the Tangut kings, they also are emperors, they saw themselves as the also Buddhist rulers. Now, finally, what we have, and that's the most famous, it's the Tangut Tianshan Local, yeah, something which has been translated into all languages, into Chinese, into Russian, whatever. It's very popular thing of studying, and it's a huge monument, which is our basic source of study of Tangut society. There is a collection of law codes, and Tianshan is the one which was officially promulgated, whereas there's the so-called new laws and the laws of the monkey year, which was published not so long ago. Also a huge one, but this is not a complete text. That's more like a collection of various legal acts. Although my professor Kichanov, he was able to put those things together as a single edition, but he himself also said that that's probably not how the thing really existed or circulated. And finally, we come down to the Buddhist text, yeah, something which is which constitutes the bulk of the literature. I don't have much on that here in this particular handout, but still there are some things, especially on the page, I would say 11, 12, and 13, yeah? Those kind of brief introduction of the Tangut Buddhist terminology. Now, what we say here is that, again, to understand Tangut civilization, so to speak, I guess we should probably adapt the actual Tangut approach, I mean, how they looked at those things. And the way they looked at those things is in a very, very systematic manner. Now, if you look into the Tangut local, then we would see that if somebody would like to be an important monk, yeah, he has to master those things. Prajna, Madhyamika, Avatamsaka, the 100 Dharmas, Vijnanavada, and also there is a selection of text of Anuttara Yoga, the Supreme Yoga. Okay? Now, but this is not in. These things, they are all in the local. And this Qixing, the rising, or the awakening of faith, yeah, it's probably representative of the. It's not the awakening of faith in Mahayana, yeah, not that. But that's a selection of texts which was very popular in Shisha, the ones, the texts connected with the ritual of bodhicitta, yeah? Now, if we look into those things, then we immediately see that these are exactly the texts which are discovered in the Buddhist section of the Tangut collection, yeah? So just as it says here in the law, this is how it all circulates in actual text. Now, but I think there would be still a chance to talk about Tangut religion a little bit further. And now, if we look into genres of the Buddhist literature, which we see, then again, it's similar situation, yeah? It's really one-to-one correspondence here. Again, if we can see, though the genres here, but